Hey guys, it's Raul again, and today I'm going to be doing my December wrap-up. So this video is coming a little bit late, but I've been busy, and I posted a lot of videos last week, so I just decided to kind of give myself a little break in between, so it's only the 5th, I figured it's fine, so I'm just going to do it now. So I had a pretty awesome reading month in the month of December. A lot of these books ended up in my top books that I read for the year, and I think I rated almost all of these books 5 stars. So yeah, let's just get started. So the first book that I finished in the month of December was Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. A lot of you out there have already read this book. I know I've mentioned it a lot of times, and so I'm not really going to go into much detail. Just know that I absolutely loved this book. I loved the characters, I loved the world, I loved kind of the twists and turns that this book took, and just everybody that kind of interacted with our main character was just fantastic. It was a lot of fun. This was definitely a book that I felt while I was reading it that it was written just for me. Like, it was just one of those books that just everything about it I loved. So if somebody out there for some reason still hasn't read this book, definitely give this one a try. This was amazing. If you are not really into reading but you're a gamer, still give this one a try because it takes place in like a big MMO video game. So it appeals to a lot of people, regardless of whether you're a reader or not, so definitely check this one out. If you haven't, I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. And the next book that I read in the month of December, I do not have with me because I already returned it to the library, but that is Prodigy by Marie Lu. This is the second book in the Legend trilogy. I won't really get into too much detail because I don't want to spoil the first book for you. Just know that this was an absolutely amazing sequel to the first one. This is a series that I'm just absolutely loving. I love the writing. I love that it's action-packed. I love kind of the drama and the tension that there is. I liked the fact that within this one, they kind of held back a little bit within the kind of main love interest. I know that I mentioned last month when I read the first book that I felt like the romance in there was a little rushed and kind of forced, but I kind of like the fact that it wasn't in your face this time, that Marie Lu kind of held back a little bit with that and wasn't kind of throwing it constantly in your face that these two people are in love, because it did feel a little insta-lovey for me. So I'm glad that they held back a little bit in the second book, and they focused on kind of the bigger picture and the bigger scenario of the things that were going on. So I really enjoyed this one. I ended up giving it another 5 out of 5 stars. And the next book that I picked up in the month of December was Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. This is the first Rainbow Rowell book that I've read. I know that a lot of people rave about Rainbow Rowell and her writing and her characters, and I can definitely see why. This one I absolutely loved. For those of you who don't know, it is about our main character. Her name is Kath. She's got a twin sister, and they both go out to college, and then they decide when they're going off to college that they want to kind of split and not really hang out too much. So they're not really in the same dorm. They're not living together in school, and they kind of want to take their own route and their own path. So it's kind of a coming-of-age story. Her kind of figuring out who she is as a person, not just as a twin. And she obviously meets a boy and falls in love. It was just an absolutely amazing story. This is one of those books that from the beginning I was really hooked. I loved all of the characters. Even the ones that you were supposed to hate, I loved to hate them. It was just wonderful, absolutely brilliantly written. I loved it. Like, I was just hooked from the beginning, like I said. And now I understand why people love Rainbow Rowell's writing so much, because I loved it. This was another book I gave 5 out of 5 stars. This is the book that when I was finished with it, I just wanted to go right back to the beginning and start all over again. And that doesn't happen a lot. Like, it rarely happens that I want to just start all over and experience the entire thing all over again. So this is definitely a book that I will definitely be rereading most likely once every year, because I absolutely loved it. This was just fantastic, and I want to read more Rainbow Rowell stuff at this point now because I loved this one. And the next book that I read in the month of December was Cinder by Marissa Meyer. Now, this is a book that a lot of people obviously out there have read. Everybody's reading this series right now, whether you're on the first or the third book. A lot of people have already finished the last book, Winter, that just came out, which is why I feel like everybody is reading this series right now. This is a futuristic fairy tale retelling it was enough kind of to grasp me, the fact that it was futuristic retelling of Cinderella. If it were probably like more of a modern day, not sci-fi-ish retelling, that I probably wouldn't have picked it up, but the fact that it was a sci-fi retelling really intrigued me, and really just, I needed to pick this up. My wife has read this series. My sister-in-law has read this one, and they just absolutely loved it, so I figured I have to finally pick it up. I have to see what all the hype is about. Everybody out here on BookTube talks about this series a lot, so it was about time I picked it up, and I loved it. It wasn't the greatest thing I read. I ended up giving this a 4 out of 5 stars, but I did really, really enjoy it. I loved the action in here, the sci-fi elements. I liked the world and the world building. And the main love story was pretty good. I mean, it's not like what I go for in books, but I really still enjoyed it. It was cute and fun, and it was a really, really cool read. I'm really looking forward to the next books in this series because I hear that they get a lot better than the first one. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with this series, but I really enjoyed this first book. And the last book that I read in the month of December was Champion by Marie Lu. Now, this one I read most of it in December, and I ended up finishing this book probably about 2 days ago. So I figured I would just include it in my wrap-up so that my wrap-up from next month isn't so long. Because, like I said, I'm already finished with this, so I figured I would include it in here. This is the third book in the Legends series, third and final book. I absolutely, absolutely loved it. This was just an amazing conclusion to this trilogy. I was loving it from the second book, and this was just, it was non-stop action, so much intrigue, so much suspense, so much action. It was just on the edge of your seat the entire time. Like, I'm not really going to go into detail because that'll just keep spoiling the rest of the series for you guys. Just know that this was an absolutely amazing, amazing trilogy. This definitely will end up being probably, like, is now my top 3 favorite trilogies I've read. It was awesome. If you guys have not picked this up or have been kind of on the fence and you enjoy dystopian, I would pick it up. If you are tired and sick of dystopian, maybe hold off. I don't know. But I haven't gotten burnt out from dystopian yet, so I absolutely love this one. This was, like I said, one of my favorite trilogies that I've read, probably top 3. It was amazing. And I obviously gave Champion a 5 out of 5 stars. So yeah, guys, that is it for my December wrap-up. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite books were in December, if you guys have read any of the ones that I've read, and what your thoughts and feelings were on these, if you loved them as much as I did, or if you didn't enjoy them, let me know also. So yeah, guys, thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time.